Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the games room. Today, it's a bit of a virtual pub kind of day because I'm getting myself, Pete, Petrol Ped and Joe Achilles on the Zoom call, which you guys will see, and we're going to have a typical pub style discussion, I guess. And without further ado, I'm going to crack over my beer, fitting which one I'm going for. But the kind of stuff that I really want to talk about today with them, first of all, is I want to kind of get a bit of, get their thoughts on what car I should buy, and then I'm going to ask them a couple of questions as well. So it'll be interesting for you guys to kind of follow in on the conversation and also maybe learn a little bit more about Joe and Petrol Ped. So I'm going to wait for them to dial in, and we'll catch up in a sec. Oh, cold beer for the win. Really giving it a go.
Like a serious face.
Joe is connecting to audio.
I think he needs his hair cut in.
I think so.
I'll tell you what, mate, if you're filming this is great B-roll.
I might keep it as a what went wrong.
What when things go wrong?
A while.
Joe has been in captivity for months.
Oh, I can hear you.
Hey! Oh!
Hey!
Oh my god. I just kept pressing the connect to audio, and it just kept kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and then suddenly it's just connected. So.
Oh, wicked! So we're live and kicking. We finally got you here. It looks like.
Sorry, I'm going to go and sit in the car now, so it's easier for. There you go.
Joe, well, cheers everybody. Well, first of all, thanks everyone for joining the old live stream. Well, not live stream, it's a Zoom call. Me and Peter are on beers, and Joe is on the water, obviously, because he's doing / mountain biking / whatever it is you're doing. First,
yes,
Joe. I mean, I thought my hair was starting to get quite long. You're looking like a bit of a crazy professor there, mate.
I know. Look at it. It's out of control, and it's not growing long in everywhere. Like around the front here, it's quite thin, but I'm getting comments on my videos. One person commented the other day saying, "Oh my God, you're so vain. You've gone to the extent of dyeing your hair at the front." Where? I don't even have any hair at the front. what are they talking about? I'm like Krusty the Clown. Lou says I look like Krusty the Clown at the moment.
Mate, you'll look like Sideshow Bob soon. Out of Control and Shift. There you go. That's a t-shirt for you.
Oh!
Yes.
Whilst we're on the topic of it, everyone has got the old Control and Shift stuff on.
Hey.
There you go. Right. So I've got a couple of questions. So, Joe, you mentioned it earlier on. I've sold my 4C, guys.
Yes.
And now I need to start thinking about what our next car is going to be. Now, everyone on the internet is, as you would expect from an internet perspective, is trolling me to go and buy a car that I just can't afford. They're telling me, go and buy a new Giulia Quadrifoglio. Yeah, I'm going to pull 60K out my back pocket. That's really going to happen. So I wanted to have a chat with you guys and have a little bit of a chinwag, if you like, about what potentially could I look at. Price bracket, I'd say no more, as in 25K is an absolute stretch. So I'd say 25K. Second hand doesn't need to be new. So from your perspective, what kind of cars do you think I should be looking at?
Oh, can I go first?
Of course.
Mate, an Abarth 124 Spider, and then mod the hell out of it.
That's a good shout. That's a very good shout.
Just make it the fastest, loudest, most obnoxious 124, like your 595 was, but in a 124 Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, I think, mate, you've got such an amazing, loving fan base with Abarth and that group, and I think
Abarth. You've got to say
I need a bath.
Yeah. You need a shower.
Yeah, I need a shower. But yeah, and I think for sure that would be the best decision. And I haven't seen too many ridiculously tuned 124s. Obviously, there's loads of the little 500 base cars, but yeah, mate, absolutely, that would be mega.
how much could you get out of power-wise? Could you get out of one of them?
You see, now this is the problem, and this is the only thing that holds me back a little bit on it, is because for some reason the ECUs on the 124 Spiders, they're not anywhere near as easy to tune as they are on the 124, which doesn't make sense because they're pretty much the same engine. One's a TJ, one's a multi-air. But not many people have got huge power out of those cars. I mean, you have to go big modifications to do something crazy with it. But I guess that's part of the challenge. I'll just drive it to Italy and find someone there who can do it.
I was going to say, you've got to find some of the partners you work with to help. I mean, what a project that'd be. I mean, the opportunity is, if no one's done it yet, that's the opportunity, right? Because you do it first and help other people do it after you. If everyone had done it and it was easy to make the power, it would be no story.
Yeah, well, it's like the 5.
It's not going to be easy. That's the story, right?
Yeah, and it'll be 1,000,001 videos. Every video is going to be trying to find someone who will tune my Spider.
Road trip.
Road trip, yeah. Guys, let's go to Italy to find a tuner via the Algarve and Lake Como and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's a really good shot.
You put a 4C engine in a 124 Spider.
Yeah, that's going to cost money, man. But there's an argument then to say, should I not have just kept the 4C? It's 2-seater. The 124 Spider's a 2-seater.
Yeah, but the 124 Spider's boot doesn't leak every time you open it.
And it's got power steering as well.
And it's got a manual gearbox.
And it won't try and kill you every time you put your foot down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably a really good shout, actually. It's one that I've definitely been toying with. And you can pick them up now second hand for about 15 grand. Like, that's cheap. That is cheap, yeah.
It gives you 10 grand of your budget to play with.
There you go. So that's a good option. What other
If I was their marketing manager, I'd just give you one and just then not even say we want it back in a year. I'll just be like, here's a 124. Do what you want with it. But that's just me thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they make
It's a shame we don't know their marketing manager, but.
Well, I'm fingers crossed. I'm working with them on something which hopefully I'll be able to announce to the guys on the channel soon. And I think that'll be the catalyst as to what car I go for next. So I guess in the immediate short term, I'm not really in a massive rush to get a car right now because of exactly if I can work that plan out with Abarth. Press cars en route. So all the cars that I missed press launches for. So RS6, RS4, RSQ3, they're all coming, so I'm going to have some fun with those. And then I need to blow it to BMW and get some cars there. So at least that will keep me ticking over. And if Alpha never asks for the Stelvio back, then happy days, I've got a car for life.
Oh, that's a weapon, that thing.
Right, I have another couple of questions to get you guys a little bit involved. So when we last did this, Pete asked some really good ones. And I think it was really cool watching that back because I think we all gave a different perspective around our different thoughts on each of the questions asked. I'm not going to answer this question because the reason is there's a 44-minute video of this question for me. Now, I don't want you guys to go through 44 minutes worth of answers, but one of the questions I had was, I want you guys to share one of your highest points in your YouTube career and your lowest point in your YouTube career, if you're willing to share that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll give you a second to think.
A whole second. Thanks, Steph. You're so generous.
I think that the high points, for me, I've done some great things around Festival of Speed, driving a car up the hill at Festival of Speed, or getting on your first press launch and arriving and seeing all the kind of YouTubers and journalists that you've kind of watched for years, and suddenly you think, oh no, I'm there. But then that's normally met by the low point, which is, oh my God, I'm there and I've got to do a good video, right? And you make a video and you put it on the internet and it doesn't fly or whatever. So I think whenever I think for me, Festival Speed, driving that Alpha last year up the hill, the AR Racing Edition Alpha, that's for me my highlight.
Yeah, I was super jealous though, because you need a lot of race license for that, don't you?
You do, yeah. You should get.
I know, you should get. Joe, have you got a race license?
No.
You get
I've been talking to Patrick about like doing it with all of us, because he's like, he could get us to go on like an odds test and all the rest of it, but it just hasn't come around to it. But yeah, I think you and I should do it, Stef.
100%.
The good news is, it's not like a pilot's license. Once you get it, you don't have to do a certain number of races every year to keep it. You just pay the money and renew it.
Yeah.
And then the only thing is, when you get to a certain age, you then have to have a medical every year.
Okay.
What's that? 35.
Very funny. No, I think they have changed it a bit. They've backed that off a little bit, but I think at 45 I had to have another full medical, and the medical's like 150 quid, something like that. So
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Okay.
And then I go for my international license this year, so I could get an FIA license. But that you need a medical with the Vox test in it, and it's like 500 quid. You have to have a Vox test medical. It's really, really full on. So I'm not doing that.
Amazing. Joe?
Yeah, well, I've had a bit more time to think about it, so thanks for that, Pete, for going first. I think I've had we've all had a lot of highlights, and probably it's difficult to choose the one, but thinking about it, like realistically, I think being invited and sort of expense and paid to go out to Australia for 2 weeks to shoot content with Car Advice back in 2018, that was pretty, like, when I think back to that was a bit outrageous, you know, like getting flown literally halfway around the world to go and shoot some car content with new people that I'd never met. That was awesome, and I got to spend time with my brother and old friends and stuff, so that was an amazing trip, so I really loved that. And the low point for me for YouTube, definitely, and it's something I haven't talked about yet really on my channel, but something that a lot of people are aware of, is when I sort of incriminated myself to a point by putting a silly clip up on Instagram of me over the speed limit without realizing what I'd done. And that sort of ruined, I would say, most of last year for me, as you two know very well, because we talk a lot off camera about it, and we did. But yeah, I think that was as a result of YouTube and trying to entertain people online, and it ended up costing me an arm and a leg, and it was a horrible experience that I don't want anyone to go through again. So I think there's been a lot of mental challenges along the way, ups and downs, as we've all had. But yeah, those two are the big extremes for me, you know, one brilliant year and one not so brilliant year.
Yeah, I remember that, mate. I think that experience, I think, opened a lot of people's eyes. I think you're the person who felt it the most, but I think across the automotive community, in terms of, especially us, in terms of, I mean, I've always been guilty of putting my foot down here and there, but I think after what happened to you, you're always more conscious now, and you do silliness just to entertain people, because those people watching the video are not going to be the ones who are going to pay for your livelihood, especially if you need your license.
Yeah.
I mean, we tread a really fine line, because, you know, technically, if you had a POV video shot in a car and you were doing 62 in a 60, that's incriminating evidence, right? So you're not really, I know you're technically breaking the law, but you're not out there to drive like an idiot. And I think what we do is fraught with potential challenges. And I do look at some channels, and I have to say, I look at some channels and think, how on earth do you get away with what you do? I think some of the driving on some channels, obviously not going to name any names at all, I just think is irresponsible, and puts us in problems as well, potentially. It's a difficult. If you're going to do a fast test drive of a car, go to a racetrack or a runway. You know, when you're on a public road, there's just no place for it. I'm not suggesting that we're not all angels. We'll all, every now and again, I'm sure, in videos go over the speed limit, but you know, that's. I just think some of the videos you see on YouTube, honestly, make me just cringe.
Yeah, I'll agree, definitely. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for sharing that, mate. Right. Really appreciate that. And I guess that leads me on to my final point. In fact, before I go on to that, that's why we do most of our press launches in places like Spain, and places where you can only really get a fine and not lose your license. That leads me on to the final question. Say again, mate.
You only do the speed limit. in Spain.
Of course, always did the
Oh
speed.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, that leads me on to the final question, and we touched on it. In your video, Pete, we asked what is the car we're most looking forward to drive this year. Whereas I'm going to ask the question: what has been the best press trip that you guys have been on, and why?
Oh, Steph, you're really throwing them at us here, aren't you?
You guys,
I'll go first. It gives you some time to think.
Yes, yeah.
There you go. Right. So obviously we've all done amazing press trips, but I think my favourite press trip was when Pete and I went to Abarth Day in Milan. Oh, hang on, what we got here? We've got the running out of time. Hang on.
The meeting has been upgraded by the host and now includes unlimited minutes.
Wow, that's probably charged me. Great, don't have any money for that. Anyway, yeah. So my favourite press trip definitely, I think, was when we went to Milan, Pete, for Abarth Day. The press launch itself was for the 695 70th anniversary, but it was more the Abarth Day event which made it so special for me, because I think just meeting all of the people that just watched my videos, I think I was just completely blown away. I think, you know, how many times did we sit down and walk around there, Pete, just saying, like, I couldn't believe how many people recognised me. And for me, I think that's what put all of this into perspective, and I loved it. Best pressure I've done.
No, I'm not just saying it. It was like walking around with a rock star. It was, and I'm walking around there going, someone's bound to watch one of my videos. They're going to say I've come. Nobody knew who I was. Everybody knew. And I think for you at that time, having talked to you out, you know, off camera and stuff, that for you was a really important day.
Yeah.
And well deserved as well.
Yeah.
And I put a lot into the context for you, I think.
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I think that's just the best thing about everything that we do as well, is when you get a chance to meet the people. And whilst we've been on such amazing trips, you know, incredible hotels, driven incredible cars, I think just because of the way it made me feel, that is up there with the best one.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I thought you were going to say the GP3 trip to LA then, and that was going to really wind me up.
No. I mean, that was a really...
And me, I was waiting for that as well. I was just like, no, don't want to know. Oh, my phone's lost connection.
That was a good one, but no.
That's a good one. Yeah. I haven't been on a press trip with a helicopter yet. You've done that loads of times.
Yeah.
Come on, Joe. You two guys have had way more press trips than me.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think we did talk about this on Pete's video a little bit, or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe we just had private conversations about it in the past. But I think the trips that we do to these amazing locations are great. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, especially the BMW ones to Spain are just mega. But realistically, I mean, you're having a great time. You're going out. You're having great food, great piss up, and your great cars. But I really like the trips where, a bit like the mini trip that you guys did over to Bruges. Yeah. Those sort of, like, where you're given a car and then you basically got a few days with it, and then you meet up with them and you do. And I really enjoy that sort of aspect, a bit like the RS6 trip I did this year, where I was allowed to. That wasn't part of it, to be honest. Like, I asked them if I could drive the car out there, and they said yes. But it made the whole trip for me so much better, content-wise. I got to live with the car. So by the time I shot the video out there, I'd spent 2 days in it, you know. And I think that those trips, to me, and probably to you sort of guys as well, like, we're all petrol heads, and really we want to spend as much time in these cars, especially if someone else is paying for it, you know, like. So yeah, I think the RS6 trip was probably one of the best, if not maybe like the M8, whenever the M8, where was that, December or something? That was mega as well. So yeah, I couldn't really pin one, but I love those driving trips where you're driving to the location or you're driving back from the location or something. I think they're the best press trips, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, if I have a press car for a week, I do a far better review after a week in the car than I do if I'm on a press drive trip and I get the car for, you know, a few hours.
Yeah.
You always
Yes.
you get to feel the car. You don't turn the cameras on for the first few days. You just drive it around and you learn all of its foibles and all of the kind of things that you wouldn't do if you only had a couple of hours in the car.
Yep. Yep.
Very true. So, Joe, you're saying RS6?
Yeah, I think if I had to choose, yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of very close ones, M8, RS6, but yeah, probably RS6 this year because it's quite fresh in my memory. So yeah, although yeah, but then there's other trips like we did. There's your own sort of more personal trips with press cars. But if you're saying press launches, then yeah,
specifically press launches. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome, legend.
Yeah.
Well, press launch, I've not done that many, but M8 was quite special, to be fair.
Yeah.
But in terms of best, it's got to be the mini trip to Turin, because that was just ridiculous. It was, drive 3 red, white and blue mini to Turin and then drive around the Lingotto roof was, you can't, that was just an amazing couple of days. It was nuts.
Yeah, that looked mega. That looked really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, see, that's one of those, like, you're actually doing stuff for a few days, like driving, and I do, yeah, I think they're brilliant.
And the interesting thing that, if you remember on the last video when you were saying about that's how it should be, rather than shipping cars out somewhere, get someone to drive them, that's exactly why that trip took place, because Mini needed to get those cars to Turin for an event with one of the big big car magazines.
Yeah.
And shipping costs were just ridiculous. So they just thought, why don't we just get 3 journo influencer YouTuber people to drive them out there and create content on the way? It's a win-win. And that's exactly
it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Cars for 2 days driving out there and flew home and left the cars there. And then they did their press event there and then they drove the cars back. So it was an absolute no-brainer, really. And it created for me, some of the video I'm maybe the most proud of, because it was very difficult to film it, but it was just brilliant. And I look back, it's one of those ones, I don't look back on that much of my old stuff, but that Turin trip, I look back and watch that quite a lot.
Even the Italian job punchlines that you threw in there as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and we left loads out. We kind of forgot so many, but yeah, I kind of sat down and watched the film a couple of days before and wrote all the lines I wanted, and then tried to drop them into the film.
Brilliant.
That's a good question. So I'm going to check it. Do you guys watch your stuff back much?
Not really.
Maybe
I might think back. No, I do. I watch some of them back. I watch things like road trip videos, for example. Like stuff that I've done with my friends, stuff that I've done, like, for example, with Joe, or the stuff that I enjoy and think, actually, how can I make that better the next time I do it? But the kind of review stuff and the churn stuff, if you like, never. I'll watch it once it's edited and then it goes live, and then I'll let everybody else watch it. And hope
get a comment sometimes on an older video. I'll think, was that video any good? Especially the ones from like 2 or 3 years ago. And you go back and watch them and you think,
Yeah, I'm going to say I like the road trip, the petrol head tours and stuff. Especially ones that like Patrick had edited on the trip, I just find entertaining, almost a bit silly. I enjoy watching, especially the last few months where we've all kind of been craving a good European drive. I've watched them back, and but yeah, I'm the same. Sometimes I very rarely watch anything else, because it can be a bit cringy. But then sometimes you'll fall upon an old video and you'll watch something back and you'll be like, oh, I wasn't as bad as I thought I was back then, but still, yeah, I don't know. The thing is, we're always improving, and we're all, every video we learn a new trick, don't we? We're always evolving, because this has turned from a hobby into, well, a passion and whatever you want to call it, I guess. So,
100K.
What's that?
100K.
100K, yeah.
How far are you?
I don't know. I'm not far now. Like the lot, mate. Well, I had the car. I was lucky because I did a car wow video whenever it came out on Saturday morning, and that gave me an extra 500 or something. And then someone posted on Instagram, "Get Joe to 100," and then literally I had about 100 people that were doing it. So, and then yesterday Tim put in his I don't even know how to use it, but on YouTube, when you go through your subscribers, you get sometimes like messages and stuff. And so on his storyboard, he put follow Joe, and that gave me another like 700 overnight or something. So I was like,
6.8.
96.
what's that? 96.8. Oh, nice.
It's so close.
Oh, no. Yeah, but what happens when you get to 100? Then it's just like, oh, okay. What's the next big one? A million.
A million?
That's 1,000 years away.
Yeah. You'll start grinding away like Tim does, like Shmee does. You'll just be literally again.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. No, but
for me, it's you hitting 100,000 subs is a really big thing for me, because we've kind of got to know each other over the last 3 or 4 years, and we've all kind of done very similar things and all kind of grown up, all, you know, as a channel grown up. So with the goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers, and sometimes you think it's never going to happen, or it's out of reach, it's not possible. Yeah. And you made me realize it is possible because you're about to do it, and that's massive for me. And I'm so pleased for you, because you should have done it ages ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
Joe, you're doing the next one. When we do it, will be interesting, seeing as you couldn't even dial into this one properly. I might need to teach you how to do it.
I look forward to the next one. Thanks for this one's been good fun. And let's hopefully all meet up for real soon.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome, chaps. So, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out both Joe and Petrol Ped. Their channels will be linked below, and I'll see you all very soon on the next video, I guess. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the sunshine. Catch up soon.
Take care, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Stef. Cheers, Peter.